Hello, peoples. It's time. We're back again on our bi-weekly jaunt into the world that is White Wolf. And we're running guestless tonight, and really on a bad night for that, but I'm going to go with it and we'll be okay. So, I want to introduce, of course, my wonderful co-host, Brother Jacob. Jacob!
I am here.
Awesome. Wasn't sure about you for a second.
I am awesome too, yes.
I
will concur.
Absolutely. So, I don't know how to do this. I really don't. I don't know how to fucking do this without guests.
I always kick it off.
I know, but right? but I don't understand.
So let's kick it off then.
I do
Mr. Peter.
Yes, sir.
Fans of our...
Can I plead the fifth? Wait a minute, we lost you, dude. I got nothing.
Wow, you went kind of garbled there, so... Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm yeah, alright, you're back. Shoot again.
You're not hearing nothing?
I got you. We're just being... appear to be...
You can hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, what you call? Skype's giving me attitude, I guess. Anyway, I'm kicking it off because I always kick it off.
But that's your job.
It is well known by anybody who has even casually looked at any of our episodes or Facebook feed or Twitter feed or any of the other fun ways that you guys can keep track of what we're up to, that Peter is a very big House Tremere fan. So
lies.
Kick us off, Peter. What is it about House Tremere that just grabs your attention and holds on with both hands?
There was, as you may mention, that anybody who's listened to the show long enough knows that I've never tabletop, but I LARPed. And when I'm at my first LARP, I got involved with, had a nice girl who sat us down and helped us with our backstory and all the other wonderfulness that goes along with the creation of a vampire character. And she was like, well, what do you like to do? What is your she was trying to help me create, since I didn't know a lot about the clans, she was trying to help me create a character that would be more easily played given my personality type, I guess. And so we hashed it out, and she started off with Toreador, and she had the big green book. Of course, even then, the full set of really good LARP rules weren't in place yet. So there were a lot of folks that were using, at least for general creation purposes, the big green book, the vampire book. And she pointed me out to the Toreador page, and I was like, there's no fucking way. I said, I love karaoke and all, and I can actually sing relatively well, but it just doesn't feel like me. And she says, well, I'm going to help these other people here. You go ahead, flip through the book, and see what you like. And I did. I started with Bruja. Boom. And I read each one of the descriptions all the way, including the independents. And I was like, Tremere. I like the organization. I like the power. I'm going to be honest. Come on, folks. Thaumaturgy back in the day was the shit. Okay, and most people could not stand toe to toe with a Tremere. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool and all, but what do you guys do if a vampire breaks the rules? And she was like, oh, well, we have people called Archons that go around handling stuff like that. I was like, yeah, I'm all about this 6 traditions. Because I read them, and I was like, yeah, I like these. These could actually keep Kindred safe. And I like the concept of an anarch running around flaunting these rules, or Sabbat, that I just roll in and squash them like a bug, just to keep the Masquerade safe. That was my whole thing, my background. So that's what grabbed a hold of me, is I actually had somebody sit me down and try and shoehorn me into a clan, and then finally said, fuck it, just go ahead and pick one, but gave me the information to do so. So that's where I'm at. Jake, you still with us? Jake?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, you went offline and then came back during that, so.
Yeah, I heard every word you said, so.
Okay. So that's why I went Tremere, and then the further.
That is being dumb.
Yeah. And the further I went down the path of, finding out about House and Clan, I was like, I love these guys. Especially since later on when we found out technomancy was an option. Which I'm a hell of a lot more into the technomancy side of that than the oogie booga hocus pocus, 3 witches in a cauldron kind of magic. That, I guess, what really sunk it home for me was, we were talking about prior to coming on the air, was the biggest chantry in the United States is C5B, the Chantry of Five Boroughs in New York. And I believe it's under Hudson College. But the security system is half technological and half demonic. They've harnessed both regular and techno demons to guard the chantry. Like, there are techno demons that run around checking for fires. There are techno demons that check that watch the cameras in the chantry, and all the entrances.
Aha, so you openly admit that you guys are infernalists. We've got it right here, folks, from the horse's mouth.
Absolutely. Well, if you bind a demon, is it still being an infernalist? If you're not actually using the demon for what its original purpose is?
Well, you are consorting
with demons. True that.
Its purpose is to get you to summon demons.
Yeah, but they get but binding them makes them useful. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing.
It's okay if you control the demons. I get it.
That's right. We can't have uncontrolled demons running around. That's irresponsible. I mean, if you're going to summon a demon, use it. But no, I don't know about the rest of the chantries. I know very few of the security protocols for quite a few of them. I know the security for C5B, Hong Kong, and London, just because they've been covered in various books. But in general, they don't. I don't think Tremere, in general, harness demons on a regular basis. I don't think it's a. I think it's a regent, as we mentioned before the show. It's a regent choice about the security of their particular chantry.
Oh, so as long as the regent's an infernalist, then it's okay.
Maybe. Yeah, well, everything else we do seems to piss everybody off. Might as well go all the way, right?
I suppose, eh?
Yeah. Okay, if we're already mad, why, what? Adding a little demon summoning is going to make them madder? What do you mean? That's not it. That's not the way this works. You people hate us, and that's fine. We get that. Although, and justifiably in some cases, just gonna say, the whole Assamite situation was a big dick move. That was just us. That was being a douche, and I'm sorry. I apologize for my clan. Because I have a lot of respect for the Assamites. I really do. They scare shit out of me. It's one of the few clans that can kill a Tremere. And they'll never know it's coming.
Anybody can kill anybody.
Yeah, that depends on no. I'm gonna be honest. A neophyte Tremere and a neophyte Gangrel, yeah, probably. But anybody who's gone past, what is it, 4th, 5th circle, then yeah, they can probably stand toe to toe with any neonate of any clan. I'm dead serious about that, but it may just be me. As far as overestimating the power of my house and clan. I mean, I know I was trained rather well before they set me off. They actually, I was part of the backstory was that I had to spend a century in apprentice to another Archon. And I know it didn't take me a century to learn how to fire a shotgun, but we did learn enough. It was more about how to fight other clans than it was about learning infernalist bullshit from the more magical wing of the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because most Tremere aren't trained in martial arts in general, unless you're doing
there's not
one.
Really a point to it if you can use the fun stuff with thaumaturgy.
Yeah, but as I found out, there's not a lot of good combinations of thaumaturgy and martial ability. And I'm not talking about, flaming katanas or any of that bullshit. I'm talking about being able to do a lot of the thaumaturgical stuff that is listed in both the BGB and Blood Magic and the clan book. The clan, So it really does. Tremere in general are more likely seen as warlocks and magic casters, but you can't expect someone who is being trained since Embrace to be a cop, so to speak, to worry about being able to summon fresh water. It just doesn't seem to be a useful skill. But the ability to turn a lance into a flaming lance, on the other hand, very handy.
It is, but that's focusing on one specific character where you're definitely was an out-of-the-box abnormal Tremere. Most normal Tremere, even Tremere sheriffs that I've seen in play, they don't focus on whether they can punch or swing a sword or shoot a gun. They are like, I'm going to make your blood boil and fuck you over before you even get close enough to hit me.
Well, I got news. That's a piss poor attitude for an Archon. To think that, I can boil your blood if I can touch you. Touch you. That is a touch-based attack, by the way. So, if I can take your fucking head off half a mile away with a 50 caliber sniper rifle, that's a bit more interesting. As far as the kind...
Guns are so weak against...
Not in modern day, though, man. There's some really nasty firearms out there.
Oh, I keep forgetting you're American. You can just go down to the 7-Eleven and pick up a 50 caliber sniper rifle and a pack of cigarettes. But I mean, for most of us in the world, it's a little bit harder to get that kind of.
I can buy a 50 caliber sniper rifle less than 75 miles from here. Actually, it's less than 50 miles from here. There's a place called Barnett. They're the ones who make the M50. And the U.S. military uses. They have what's called outpost armory, which is just right up the road here in Murfreesboro. And if it goes bang, they sell it. So I guess as an American, you're right. We are a bit more inured in this whole gun culture. But archons cannot be expected to deal with just thaumaturgy while trying to enforce the masquerade or whatever they're called to do. Sometimes a shotgun is a much better option, especially if you run in Dragon's Breath rounds, which is pretty much standard. I mean, you think, oh well, you can't get those anywhere. Bullshit. Barnett sells them. They actually sell them under that name.
I know. I just found that out not too long ago because I always thought that was something made up for Vampire the Masquerade.
Nope.
They're
Willie Pete rounds.
I did not realize Dragon's Breath rounds was a real thing until like 2 years ago. It's really messed up.
They've been around a long time too.
Well, I'm sure they have been in the States.
No, dude, in Vietnam, you could they were a bit harder to get then, but the Willie Pete rounds for the shotgun for the CAW, the close assault weapon, was something. Yeah, you could get even then. This is back in the early 70s now, but you're right, and I guess the United States with its gun culture, but you have to also think Russia also just as has a big of a gun culture as America does. It's just a different kind of guns, like the AK and pretty much anything Kalashnikov makes in general, I should say. They have their gun manufacturers too, which is why a lot of the weapons apparently that the Assamites were using during the Clan War were actually Russian as opposed to American. Kind of cool.
Interesting.
I've also heard of princes hiring Assamite bodyguards.
Yeah, wasn't that even in Kindred the Embraced?
Yes, as well as the what was the Mask of the Red Death? No, what was it called? Shit! Now you gotta make me mad. Anyway, no, there was a prince that actually had two twin female Assamites, which was way out of the norm at the time when the novel came out, because for a long time there, the Assamites would not train a woman. A woman could not become fidai, which is their version of the neonate. They're newly turned while they're being trained, I guess. But yeah, back to Tremere though. So, what do you know? I mean, what is your? I know that you talk a lot of shit in general about the clan, but is there anything about the clan you like?
I appreciate their whole story. Like the reading up about Goratrix and Etrius and Tremere himself on how they went from wizards to
an attempt to become immortal wizards.
Yeah, so making the spell to turn into vampires, and then struggling because they're pissed off everybody in existence, and through sheer tenacity and force of will and dumb luck and
we spent the first 500 years of our existence fighting for our very existence.
Well, exactly, and then they managed to get tolerance first, and then became a pillar of the Camarilla. That whole arc I find really interesting. I've only played a Tremere once, and I'll admit it was the one time, because you have to do it at least once, that I played an Abomination. but that was the only time I've ever actually played a Tremere. I guess when I'm sitting there thinking up of a character concept, Vampire Wizard Bandit just doesn't really jump into my mind.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
But I do like the depth of that storyline. Like when they came out with Dark Ages, I swear that the whole storyline and setting of the Dark Ages was basically set up to give the Shimase and Tremere a backstory.
Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit going on between those two clans during that time period. That was also I got called, at least as far as backstory is concerned, I got called into the front lines on that fight because there weren't a lot of Tremere martialists even during that time period, and yes, there's a lot of thaumaturgy that can be used in an offensive way, but the ability to actually kill things with a sword or an axe or whatever was more important, I would think, during that particular time period. So I just noticed something kind of strange, wasn't intentional, as you well know. What episode is this? What number?
34.
3 plus 4? See, you just noticed it now. Oh, dead shit. I did not plan that. That was so not planned. But I can go. I'll go with it. I'll go with it. So, here's the other thing. Let's discuss some of the stuff. History in general, we're going to get back and forth, but I'm going to fly us forward to the modern day, because relatively speaking, my clan has seen kind of a downturn since the end of the clan war. It's not like we're not getting as much print, or ink, I should say, would be the term I was, shooting for here. Are
you kidding? There's more supplements are made on thaumaturgy than pretty much anything else.
Yeah, but everybody and their fucking brothers got thaumaturgy now.
Well, they always did.
Bullshit. There were only 3. There were only 3. And I don't count the Ravenos because is this your card? No, that's not magic. Okay, thaumaturgy. I'm talking about magic.
Ravenos doesn't have thaumaturgy.
No, they have chemistry, and is this your card? No, that's about all it's good for.
What 3 clans are you thinking of for thaumaturgy?
Well, magic. I'm not saying thaumaturgy itself, but magic, which technically is thaumaturgy, is Tremere, not the Giovanni with the necromancy, and then the Colden, the Shimiche. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I wasn't around for first edition, so the Assamites, having thaumaturgy wasn't mentioned in first edition.
Wasn't mentioned. No, they had quietus, man. That's all they needed.
Yeah, but that's a discipline. That's got nothing to do with.
Yeah, but thaumaturgy is also a discipline.
Thaumaturgy is an artificial discipline.
It didn't used to be. There was thaumaturgy, which is our version of magic. Then you had necromancy, which was the Giovanni version of magic, and then you had the Coldonic bullshit, which was the Semiche version of magic,
which is infernalism, but nobody admits it.
I don't fucking care. I just kill everyone I come across. I hate those fucking. I hate them. I hate them. I hate the fiends. I do. I just dislike all of them, and I guess it's a lot of the same enmity comes from people against my clan. And it's just, I don't know why I don't like you. I just don't fucking like you.
We all know why we don't like the Tremere.
Yeah, because you can't trust us.
Because we don't trust you. You're arrogant assholes, and you don't belong here.
Arrogant scheming mage at your service.
Yeah, right.
That's me, dude. even though I don't have more than 2 dots of thaumaturgy, I'm still technically a mage. Magic users are mages. I'm not just saying, and that's not to take anything away from the actual awakened. I'm just saying, just amongst these idiots on the other side of life from mages still can do magic. It may not be the same kind of magic, but it's still magic. And there's some cool shit at 2 dots for thaumaturgy. There's gotta be. Hold on a second. Blood magics. Let's pull this out real quick. Yeah, I do have more books for Tremere than I do any other clan, including the secondary books, like things like Blood Treachery, and this one, Blood Magic Secrets of Thaumaturgy. I own Archons and Templars, of course.
Yeah, it's a good book.
Kind of had to have that one, because those guys, man, those fucking Templars, fuck them. But yeah, I also got a bit more fine-tuning for my character from Archons and Templars. Like, that was where I did finally find out that, yes, I can be an Archon, a Tremere Archon, and be, I guess, sincere in my knowledge that I am still Tremere, even if I shoot you in the face with a shotgun. I'm still Tremere.
Are you having an identity crisis or something?
For a while there, I did. I was more, after I started reading, about Theo Bell, the Bruja Archon.
Yeah.
He's one of the few other Archons who actually show up in some of the prose, and in general, well, that's his picture for the fucking Bruja, period. Has been since the first book. Theo Bell is the picture. This is a Bruja. This is what you aspire to. Okay? And I'm like, okay, I get it. He's an Archon, but that's you're Bruja. You can be better than that. You can do the other things. And that was the thing that I felt about the Tremere, is that, yeah, I can sit in the lowest level of the Chantry doing fucking rituals and spells, or I can try and take my Tremere out of the box a little, as you mentioned earlier, and try and do something a bit different. And then when I found out through Archons and Templars, of course, that when a Justicar changes, when you get a change of guard there, all the Archons that work for that particular Archon don't work as Archons anymore. They have to go find something else to do, because the Archon that's taking the previous Archon's place, or not Justicar, excuse me, my bad. The Justicar that is taking the previous Justicar's place doesn't trust, and that's just a kindred thing, doesn't trust anybody who worked for the previous dude. So he goes out and recruits his own. Very rarely has it ever happened that an Archon will get carried over from one Justicar to the next. Theo Bell being one of those. Which is why I still have a lot of respect for the guy, and still wouldn't, fucking decide to call him out one day and, say, hey, I think I can kick your ass. No, I'm not going to go there. Couldn't out, dude. In the prose alone, he's scary about what he can do. Okay, you remember we were talking about it the other night, that Jan Petersen's herd got ambushed and killed. It was Theo Bell who rescued Jan. Okay? He took on an entire battle pack himself and dealt with them. That's what a war pack, I guess. Was it 3 to 5 Sabbat, form a war pack, I guess.
Oh yeah.
No, you were mentioning it that night.
Oh, war pack could be like, any size.
Well, okay. Most packs run around with 3 to 5 pack ductus.
Minimally, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there was a fairly strong one, which is was the assassination pack, who was there to try and take out Peterson, and Theo took them on and killed every single one of them, including a war ghoul. That's nobody I want to stand toe-to-toe with. Nobody. Those people scare shit. That guy scares shit out of me. I mean, I would rather kiss a werewolf than fight Theo Bell. And I guess it's a lot of it may, if it wasn't, there was a lot of, how did they put it, legend thrown around about him, because he got talked about quite a bit during the Clan War novels by by both sides, other packs and so on, and they was like, yeah, don't fight this guy, it's a bad idea, it's a losing proposition. But on the Camarilla side, it was like, if you got him fighting with you, you're gonna win. That's the kind of, so he got a pretty decent reputation, but in general, you just didn't want to deal with him in the worst, horrible way. All right, let's talk since we've been talking Brujah for a while, let's talk Inner Council, dude. What do you know?
What has that got? Inner Council of the Tremere?
Yeah.
Or the Inner Council of the
the Council, the IC of the Tremere, the 7.
Oh, the 7 guys whose job it
current is members, not old ones, because we know all the old ones. Do you happen to know what the current ones are?
So, okay, sorry, the 7 of Camarilla or Tremere?
Tremere, the council members.
Ooh, isn't that the
you mentioned 7? One of them earlier, Atreus.
Yeah,
we'll get you started there.
Atreus, but isn't it like all the 7 that were originally?
No, they actually have changed over twice. There's one seat that has actually changed twice.
What I know about them is they're the guys who are supposed to be babysitting Tremere when
okay. Technically, only one of them was babysitting him. That was Atreus. He's the one who had the access to the sepulcher, and then, that's where apparently the legend came from. That he opened the sepulcher at one point and found that riding worm, which was some sort of manifestation of the fight between Salubri and Tremere in the same body.
Yeah, because Zalot was using the vicissitude that Tremere had to give him physical pain. Yeah.
So we got Atreus, of course, and he's always been the primary member of the he has lived in a number of chantries, but he's never been the regent of a chantry. Unlike some of the other members, like Mirlinda. Mirlinda has actually been a regent, and I think still is. She lives in Canada, I think in Toronto, maybe. That's where her. She controls all of North America.
Well, could be. I don't know.
So hold on. Let's see if there's been an update. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but it's been kind of quiet in the. There's no wave, asshole. Where the fuck have you been?
Yeah, that's a way to get viewers.
Come on, he knows I don't mean it. He knows I don't mean it. I love having him here. It really does. It needs to come up with some questions because we're running out of shit to talk about. Mirlinda of Wessex. She was one of the founding 7. She was also became Pontifex of North America. And I'm trying to remember when that actually happened. She's actually older than I am, which is kind of rare, but No, oddly enough, she's 200 years older than I am. That's not too bad, actually. But she went there. She became, she is the Pontifex of North America. And then Javier, which is another one of the Javiers in the fucking world of darkness. I don't. Somebody loves them some Javier, as far as the names are concerned. But yeah, that'd be Javier de Cincao or Cincao. Wait a minute. How do they pronounce it? Nisao Garu.
Oh,
So Javier de Cincao. So yeah, it uses the same symbol as far as that. He's the Pontifex of South America. Thomas Wincham, also not a founding member, is I think he's the Chancery Regent for fucking Hong Kong, isn't he? Yeah. He's actually the regent of the Hong Kong Chantry. Thomas Wincham. Like I said, it's one of the 3 chantries I actually do know about the security of. Grimgoth. The guy, he's actually a child of Tremere himself. I'm not very familiar with him, oddly enough. But he's also not a founding member, which assumes that he was probably 2nd or 3rd down the line as far as the embrace was concerned. And Albatorius, who was also a child of Merlinda, is hold on, let me see. Member of the council since 1103. He's 100 years older than I am. Oh shit. He was one of the more martial of the Tremere. After the Assamite anarchs destroyed several chantries, he actually followed them back and killed as many of them as he could. And this was before he became a member of the council. So yeah, and he was a participant, not the actual instigator, but a participant of the ritual of blood. The one that made it so that the Assamites could no longer drink kindred blood.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was a member of the ritual for that. I don't want to even know anybody else who was, and I damn sure don't want to stand next to, because I'm pretty sure the Assamites are still a little miffed. Yeah, oh, hey, man. That's awesome. So, questions, dude. We need questions. Talk to us. We're here by ourselves tonight because it's summer and everybody's doing shit. So, we can't get nobody else to come join us except for you and Brother Scott, apparently. And I don't know if fucking Sabrina's going to make it or not. She does. I didn't actually put a countdown timer on this one because I was still fishing for guests at the last minute. We need a bigger pool of guests, dude. And
let's cast the net out.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Yeah, it has been a while since we've thrown the net out into the open channels. You know that, right?
Well, I keep asking New Wave, but she seems really shy.
She
doesn't really want to.
New Wave's she?
Yeah.
Awesome. I had to know. I don't assume gender for no damn body. People get mad about that shit nowadays for some fucked up reason.
She'll post that I'm wrong. But.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm gonna see her continually drinking vodka until this is stupid, or until this becomes funny.
Becomes funny.
Yeah, right. So okay, let's move on. Let's discuss, where were we? Tremere. We were into modern day. We got the Council of the Pontifexes. Or the Pontifices. Although it's not Pontifexes. That's Pontifex is singular, Pontifices is multiple.
Pontifices.
Yeah.
Sounds dirty. So
okay, if you look at, here's the thing. If you look at Tremere, the clan and house, as a microcosm of the Camarilla. You got your inner council, your IC, and then below that you got your Justicars. Now the Justicars in Tremere have often been pontifexes, but that is the most common reference for you got inner council, pontifexes equals Justicar, and then below that you get lords. That's more of an old-timey deal that we don't do it much anymore because of the way that the city-states have changed. So we've kind of wiped that particular group out, and now we have regents, which is about the same as a prince for a particular city. They tend to be relatively backgroundish kind of guys, except for the ones who love apparently getting involved in the various politics of that particular city, like Elaine Chow did, and then got her head handed to her by an Assamite assassin, thank you very much, in Atlanta. So this is why you don't fuck around with their bullshit. Stay in the chantry, tell them to keep their fucking Elysium, and they can talk to each other and snipe and bullshit behind each other's backs for the next 1,000 years. It will not bother us a bit. We got other shit to do. Okay? I've never, other than folks that were martially trained, I've never ever assumed that it was a good idea for a clan member to leave a chantry.
FB Fulton wants to know about major alliances Tremere's have in Modern Knights. So did they just made everybody their little bitch, or do they have other things going on?
Well, okay.
This is your.
This is me, man. This is all me, and I thank you for bringing that to our attention, FB.
I yappity yapped all night long for the equation, so you can chat away tonight.
I've been trying. It's just my clan after all. Modern Knights, I think I wouldn't say alliance, but the actual Assamites that have come over and joined the Camarilla have become a bit less anal about us being responsible for the bullshit that they had to deal with. How long did the blood curse last? Holy shit. Hold on. I gotta look that up.
2 centuries.
I figure it was 2, maybe 300 years.
Well, the Assamites that have come over, though, they're not really on good terms with their family either. So
that's true. And anybody who still lives in Alamut, I would say they'd have issue.
You want to hit those fuckers with that curse again? That'd be great.
1 second.
3 seconds.
No. What I'm saying is, who was it? The Vizier broke the blood curse. It made it impossible for us to actually put it back on them.
So you're saying that their thaumaturgy is better than your thaumaturgy?
Not necessarily. The thing with enchantments is, once they're broken, unless they're low-level enchantments, shit that, like, okay, this inkwell never goes dry. That kind of shit nobody cares about. And if you break it, you can't use that particular vessel anymore for infinite ink. You have to get you a whole new vessel. Well, unless we wipe out the entire clan and make a whole new clan out of them and then curse them again, you can't really do that. They've broken it. We got to move on. We have to come up with something else. And the group that did split off and join the Camarilla seemed to be a bit more reasonable about the situation. The reclaiming the blood for a Hakim is a major issue for not just the kindred, not just for Tremere, but they were there to kill any kindred they came across. Any. So that means, but there are a lot of other things going on, FB. No, hold on. Yeah, I gotta answer this one. No, the Tremere, they became their own. The gargoyles became their own bloodline. And yeah, we kill them every chance we get, but that was only because we felt we made a mistake in creating them to guard our chantries. I don't assume it to be a mistake, and I've always used gargoyles where I could, because they make awesome bodyguards. They really do.
Actually, in the LARP that I am storyteller for, we have a sizable gargoyle population and have a Tremere chantry still in the city. So the gargoyles are actually looking for opportunities to get even the score a little bit with the Tremere. But
I would think a lot of the other gargoyles would call them Uncle Tom's kind of situation as far as that's concerned, because we did the creation of the original gargoyles was pretty fucked up. You think that we did horrible shit to the Semiche?
No,
not even close. Not even close.
That's why I'm surprised that the Gangrel and the Nosferatu let you guys in the Camarilla.
That's what I figured, other than we had something to do. I mean, the original Council of Thorns, I forget what our contribution was to this whole founding of the Camarilla and the Charter.
Wasn't it the Assamite curse? Wasn't that how you guys... Wasn't that the dick you sucked to get in?
That may have been it. Because like I said earlier, the Assamites were killing everybody. And they were doing a really good job at it. And so they got a little bound, If we can stop them from killing other kindred, I can see how that would get us at least an entre nous, into the daily. But no, the gargoyle experimenting does not happen anymore. At least not under most circumstances, as far as I know. Most regions won't allow it in their chantry. We saw how sideways that shit went when it did go sideways. And why make more of them, for God's sakes? And like I said, it was also, kind of a dick move to take your random kindred off the street and turn them into a gargoyle. It tends to not go over well with whoever that guy's sire was. Right? You just can't do that kind of shit. It is major. Now, okay, I want to cover a couple of Tremere stuff that I don't know a lot about. And if somebody in the channel does know better, or my brother Jacob, thank you, the Tilya Velik.
Okay.
Like I said, not a lot of... I have background in the Dark Ages, but I never played any Dark Ages stuff.
Yeah, they are mostly gone now, though BNS for the LARP rules actually made them an available bloodline again. But yeah, it was just, as far as I know, they were just... it was just when they started experimenting with the blood and with thaumaturgy, and one of them took after the old clan Shimese a little bit more, and kind of had more of a pagan / Kuldunic way of doing magic than the tried and true method that the
burning candles and incense and shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do get a kick out of my own clan from time to time. I'm like, fuck you and your virgin blood. Just give me a shotgun. I don't know. See, there's one of those cool spells that I forget where it's at in thaumaturgy. But if you taste another vampire's blood, you've got their clan. You can all of the information about this person including who their sire was and so on.
Level 1 in thaumaturgy.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. You learn all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, but you don't want to do it more than once. Things would go sideways for that. But yeah, and our embrace is a bit different than most others. Most other groups do it the standard direction of the draining and then the drink of their sire. We actually one of the deals we get is the regent puts their blood in the goblet, casts a spell of some sort, and it what is the term in the Catholic Church? Transubstantiates that blood into blood of the seven, the council at the time, and then Ray can mix one step blood bound all seven of those bastards. All right, here we go. Yeah. Well, New Wave, I'll be straight about this. Most chantries are fireproof for very good reason. Because a lot of the shit we do, shit tends to blow up. You'd be surprised. You're walking down a hallway in a chantry and then boom! Holy shit, where'd that come from? Come out and some poor novice has burnt their eyebrows off. So, yeah, 99, it's really, really hard to burn down a chantry.
It can only be so fireproof. There's always a way.
I don't know if you have demons running around putting out fires, man.
Okay, dude, if you seriously think every chantry of the Tremere has demons working for it,
no, it's just C5B. But you're absolutely, as far as I know, even the security system at the Hong Kong chantry isn't all that good.
The reading I had read that what's his name from Hong Kong was the only prominent Tremere that was involved in infernalism. I hadn't realized that that the Tremere had that big of a problem with infernalism.
Well, no, I don't know if what's her name, Aisling Sturbridge. She's the regent of C5B. I don't know if she inherited the system or whether she created the system, but I got the impression from the story was that she had actually inherited the chantry from the previous regent, and her regent Secundus was all pissed off because he didn't get the job. So, yeah, the binding of these particular demons probably happened prior to their...
Wouldn't they want to get rid of the demons?
Not if they're still doing their job.
But they are demons. Infernalism.
Okay, I don't know. Okay. Hold up. Now, see, you're. I think I figured out where we're having a problem communicating here. It's not demon, D-E-M-O-N. It's D-A-E-M-O-N.
Demon. You just mean like little spirits.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you say spirits?
Because it says daemon, and that's what it's called. D-A-M-O-N and D-E-M-O-N are two different types of critter, but they sound very similar.
They are two different types of critter, very much so.
But the demons in the system in C5B are not, they're not D-E-M-O-N, they're not fallen.
Spirits. Those are just spirits.
Yeah. But I guess, is that not infernalism? The summoning and binding of those?
Just a spirit. Demons? Wouldn't be infernalism.
Okay then, so, alright.
That'd be like you're talking like nature spirits, you're talking like techno spirits, you're talking like... I don't think anybody would think that the Giovanni are infernalists just because they have wraiths. And those are spirits.
Well, the subjugation of a specter could very much consider you to be an infernalist.
No, because there's no infernal involved. You can be an asshole and you can be evil, but you're not an infernalist.
Okay. No way. Let's say it. Let me spell it again, girl. D-A-E-M-O-N, not D-E-M-O-N. There's a difference apparently, and my pronunciation was what was giving us issues up till now, as far as the show was concerned. Is because it's spelled. It's very similarly spelled, and it's almost pronounced the same.
And I don't think it's fair, New Wave, to compare the Tremere to the Bali, because the Assamites could break the Tremere curse. They've never been able to break the Bali one. So obviously we know who's more powerful than the other.
Okay, and that's cool. And to be honest, I've never run across a Bali character. Never have.
Can I change my character?
Nope, too late. It would have been fine if you hadn't submitted your fucking character sheet already. As soon as you had to be the first, didn't you? Well, alright, let's see how that happened. Alright, Vodka, shot, Nostrovia! Drink them, l'chaim, 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 to life, l'chaim. That's one of those that I would like to have tried out for. I could have made a really good Tevye. Are you familiar, Jacob?
With
Fiddler on the Roof?
Very popular Fiddler on the Roof.
Yes.
I have heard of it.
Oh, man. I think it owned like three different versions, including, of course, Topol doing his version, and then I have an opera singer who did a version of it as well. It was really good, but that may have, and I know we're sidetracking horribly at this point. We've still got an hour to go before the end of the show, but one of the things my mother introduced me to was musicals. And in general, musicals are awesome. There are some less so than others. But I also learned that there's some out there. The evolution of musical went to rock opera. And then I saw Tommy, and I was like, oh, I just fell in love. And then I saw Jesus Christ Superstar, and I want to try. I want to be in that, and that's where it got me. But the only two I've ever had any interest in being part of the cast for was Fiddler on the Roof, but only as Tevye, and Jesus Christ Superstar, but only as Judas. Dude offered me the part of Jesus for Jesus Christ Superstar. I said, nope. I said, it has nothing to do with me being an atheist, but I think Judas has got cooler songs.
He's got cooler songs.
He does. He has such cooler songs, man. They're so much better than Jesus's. And it has nothing to do with me being a rabid atheist. Because he knew. I knew up front. I rolled in there when I tried out. I was like, listen. I said, I know this whole story is bullshit, but the music is killing me. The Andrew Lloyd Webber shit, man, it is on top. Okay. I'm going to answer that one. Hold up.
The least favorite part of your clan?
I am actually going to cover this, and thank you for asking it. I don't have a major issue with the clan itself, but the most, as you asked me, what part of the clan itself, it's these people who look at the description of the clan, decide they want to play it, and then just try to wade into battle with 2 points of thaumaturgy and expect that everything's going to fall before you, you know, and they get way too, and it's new people playing that are my clan, who tend to really make it kind of really is a bummer for the rest of us, because you're stereotyping the entire clan by the stupidness you do. Okay. I'm going to run around being all cloak and dagger, and then I'm going to throw a fireball here and there, or whatever. But, Yeah, and that was the thing. It was the weakness of the clan is, and it's a really crappy weakness. It really is, as far as clan flaws go. The one-step bloodbound to the 7, 9 times out of 10, no member of the clan is ever going to meet these people again or taste their blood again, because they've got too much entirely other shit to do. So one-step bloodbound seems a little dumb as a clan flaw to me.
BNS fixed that.
How so?
The LARP flaw for Tremere is that because of the way their embrace is done, and because of how much magic is in their blood, 1 sip equals 2 sips. They are easier to blood bond, because if they drink once from a vampire, they're already 2-step blood bonded to any vampire.
No, that's bullshit. Where did you see that?
It's in the BNS rules book, dude.
Okay, in the BNS rules.
That's
okay.
why I said they fixed it, because that is a more dangerous and actual flaw than the retarded.
You're right. You're absolutely right about that. That's fucking dangerous, dude. Holy crap. No, I feel you there, but oh man, I don't know. How often do LARP rules actually cross into the rule boundary the other direction? There's a lot of tabletop that crosses over to LARP rules, but there are very few LARP rules that go the other direction.
We'll have to see, because Jason Carl is in the development for 5th edition, so we'll see what 5th edition.
We need to get that motherfucker back on the show. I loved him, man. He was fun.
Yeah, he was good.
I will poke him and see about next show, because we need another LARP show. I think those seem to be those get a lot of watch time. Anyway, here we go.
And we'll see how much we can pick his brain about the upcoming stuff. But we can at least ask questions and make him uncomfortable.
Oh no, he enjoys us, because we're not actually fucking being antagonistically probing for shit we're not supposed to know about. I just want to talk to the guy. I want to hear his thoughts in the matter. I want to hear his system behind what he's doing. I don't really give a shit about the particulars of what he's doing. I want to know why he's doing it.
Of a new book for VTM for BNS. I'm curious to see what BNS's future is. Like, what sort of things they have planned.
I've known Jessica Carroll is going feet first into this fucking Nordic LARP shit.
She is in all sorts of things. It's actually pretty
first.
Awesome following her feed.
I do. I love her. She's awesome. I love her. I don't bother her much to be a guest, because I see how fucking busy she really is. My God, she's up to her tits and shit to do, I'm going to tell you. So
we've got a subject change here. Anyway, made a comment that I think we need to address about the Tremere anti-tribute.
I was getting ready to go there. Thank you very much. Because you were talking about something else. Here we go.
Back on topic.
Anyway, there are no entry tribute left. After the destruction of the Chantry in Mexico City, House Goratrix, when the fight ended between Salubri and Tremere.
Oh, the fight wasn't over.
It kicked Tremere into Goratrix's body. Then it kicked Goratrix into a mirror that, for some fucked up reason, Tremere decided to keep.
That's not a fucked up reason.
I shattered the bitch the first chance I got.
Why?
End him.
Why? He did exactly what he was supposed to do. He was just as loyal as Etrius.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
The destruction, the attempt the destruction that fell upon the Chantry in Mexico City, just prior to the Clan War, was trying to bring about the rest of the clan, bring about the end of the rest of the clan, Tremere's side.
Where did you hear that?
It's in the clan novels, dude.
Yeah, I haven't read the clan novels because the rule books indicate the ritual was most likely destroying the Tremere anti-tribu as a huge ritual to lower Tremere's generation. Now that he was in Gortrix's body, he was no longer an antediluvian.
He was still an antediluvian.
No, he wasn't, because he's in Gortrix's body. He was only 4th gen, because he didn't have the 3rd gen blood. Zaulat still had the 3rd gen
body,
blood. Tremere's body.
I guess you're right. It has. Now, I was about to get off stupid here for a second, but you're absolutely right. It's the body, not the mind. Yeah. He was already below that as far as generation was concerned. Salubri was what? 4th?
3rd.
So 3rd. But when he got kicked out of Tremere's body, it gave Salubri, a body with the power of 3rd generation kindred, and then but 5th generation when he took over Gortrix's body.
4th. Gortrix is 4th.
How can he be the same generation as Zaulat?
He isn't. Zaulat was 3rd.
So 4th. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you're right. You're right.
He was in Gortrix's body, which was only 4th gen, and he was in Gortrix's body on purpose, not by accident.
Yeah, no, it wasn't an accident. Not even close. No. He kicked Gortrix out of his own body and put him in the mirror.
Yes.
And
he kept it there so that once they got the next step of the plan was for Tremere to either get because the ritual was temporary, so he was either to get a permanent 3rd gen or to oust Zaulat from his old body so he could have it back. And then
that's probably coming up in the next storyline.
And he was going to give Gortrix his body back.
Why? That makes no fucking sense.
Was loyal.
But no, he was not loyal.
Yes, he was.
Then the members of his house would not have been anti-tribu.
The whole fake joining the Sabbat, it was so they didn't have all their eggs in one basket. Because even at that time, they knew that Zaulat was still there. Gortrix and Etrius were the only ones that knew the full truth. Etrius was with him, they were forming the Camarilla. Gortrix faked defection so that they also were able to keep an eye on what the Sabbat was doing and had a plan B in case shit went to hell in the Camarilla.
How is it I don't know this?
I don't know. Do you have Blood Treachery?
Yeah.
Do you have the Storyteller's Guide to the Sabbat?
No.
Do you have, it's not Time of Thin Blood, what's the other one?
Knights of Prophecy.
Knights of Prophecy?
Yes.
Okay, because I think it's at the beginning of that book that has...
Knights of Prophecy? Are you sure?
I think it's at the beginning of Knights of Prophecy that talks about the ritual and what Tremere's
It killed every single anti-tribu member of the house, so...
Yeah, there was only like 100 of them or something like that.
Except for one. There was one who escaped the killing. You know who that was? That was the goofy fucker that got a hold of the eye of Hazamel.
I have no idea about that, so...
Okay, just prior to the awakening of the Ravnos Antediluvian, who I thought was named Hazamel, but apparently turned out it wasn't, was something else. Anyway, one of the things that Hesha, one of your favorite dudes, was in track of was the Eye of Hazamel. What happened was that's also what triggered the Gangrel to leave the fucking Camarilla. Was that fight between the king and all the Gangrel he could bring together, and that Tremere Anti-Tribu, who was in possession of the eye. And he won! Primarily because it was the Eye of Hazamel. But still, he won. But he was the only survivor. He talks about it throughout the entire clan. He was the only survivor of what happened in Mexico City. How can that be how could... It seems a bit stupid.
He didn't show up to the ritual.
No, he didn't.
Transylvania Chronicles.
That I don't have.
Okay, it's the last volume of Transylvania Chronicles, because you actually get to witness the ritual.
Oh, yeah.
Follow the storyline. I started that storyline with the group once, and we were actually... some of the PCs actually were allies to Goratrix by the time we had finished. But the timeline and and everything like that, you keep getting in the right place at the right time, or making those kind of connections where you get invited to stuff, and both Tremere and Goratrix end up allying, or at least finding you useful tools throughout the ages, and you get invited to assist with the ritual that destroys the anti-tribute.
Oh.
So,
because I only get second during the clan war. You only get second hand knowledge of what happened, because you're right. He refused the call, and he was in the U.S. still when it happened. Even then, the actual ritual burned out his memory. He could not remember that he was Tremere. He could not remember he was anti-tribute Tremere at all. So that whole... He thought he was Toreador, for God's sakes. He was an artist. He was a sculptor. Which, if you read the Clan War, it's some crazy shit, man, in that cave outside of where he kills all of the gangrel in upstate New York. Inside the cave, he winds up... Spoilers here, but he winds up sculpting 3 kindred into gangrel, specifically, into this horrible fucking Simisi-like fucking craziness inside the cave. He's molding the flesh of their bodies into the stalagmites and stalactites of the cave. And I was like, man, that's messed up. But then I found out what he does outside to all the gangrel that are attacking that's even more horrific. It really is. But he keeps claiming he's Toreador. And I'm like, oh man, there's no fucking way. Even the eye would not cause you to try and create artistic expression out of the horror that you're wreaking. That just doesn't feel Toreador to me. Even so, yeah, New Wave, you're right. We are arrogant, scheming mage at your service. We try to do things 3 moves ahead. Doesn't necessarily work that way, but
I'm reading through the wiki just to catch up, and it does confirm that Knights of Prophecy and Transylvania Chronicles 4 is where you've got more information about that. But the V20 presents an alternate timeline to the original thing, and in that alternate take on the timeline, Tremere was forced outside of his body during the Dark Ages, and Goratrix has been Tremere all along.
Okay, because he didn't go into torpor.
Has been in charge of the Camarilla clan, and Tremere was the one who joined the Sabbat for that reason.
No, he didn't actually go into torpor until...
But that's
the Dark Ages at the earliest.
That's the alternate, meta plot. Okay,
I got you. Yeah.
meta plot that V20 had done.
That's crazy. Anyway, I'm going to go back to one of New Wave's, and you, New Wave, by the way, you still haven't confirmed male or female. Hook us up, let us know. I ain't trying to hit on nobody, but I kind of like to use the right pronoun.
Follow her Twitter feed, dude. It's pretty easy to figure out.
Christ. I have checked Twitter about once every 3 days.
You and I have very similar tastes in... so I really enjoy.
Wait a minute, you broke up. Hold up, you broke up. We have similar tastes in...
Oh, very, very similar tastes in things that catch the eye. So I really enjoy following New Wave's Twitter feed because some of the things she comments on, I'm just like, yep, I'm right there with you.
All right. I mean, some of the stuff I like and so on Twitter, I don't know that you get, but most of the shit on YouTube is music stuff for me. Yeah. I'm a very, very big fan of Puddle's Pity Party. That's the 7-foot clown that sings all torch songs, all depressing shit. It's awesome. He's awesome. And then, of course, what's it called? Postmodern Jukebox. They do covers of songs that... They do cover songs in different versions. It's awesome. All right, thank you, New Wave. Come on, female or not, we could really use you.
Yeah, she just posted.
No, I'm saying here's what I keep saying to her is that come on, you can come on the show at least once. Oh, yeah. Come talk with us for a little bit and actually bring some really cool questions and insight, and you have some awesome insight into what I don't give a shit that you're male or female. It makes a little difference to me. I just don't want to mislabel you.
If it makes no difference, why would you bring it up?
No, I'm bringing up the point is that it doesn't matter that she's male or female. I just like to use the correct pronoun. And a lot of the females tend to be, how should I put this? A bit shyer. It seems to be a lot harder to get females to come on the show. For instance, like Michelle or fucking Lexi, or even Jessica. The first time we had Jessica on, and then she realized, fuck, these guys don't give a shit. Come on, let's just talk White Wolf. And she got way much fun about that both times she's been on the show. Now, sometimes I've made a damn fool of myself while she's been on, but it wasn't because of her. It was just me saying something stupid. Okay, so Tremere and Gorge, yeah, that's what happened. He flopped up when Select kicked him out. He flopped over to Gortrix, and Gortrix went into a mirror. And you're right. After what you've said, Jacob,
yeah,
it makes a bit more sense why he would have saved Gortrix's soul.
Yeah.
In the mirror, instead of just fucking kicking him to the ether.
And that's the thing too, is that Tremere isn't the kind of guy to leave things to chance. He's always been a very big. They're setting up the Camarilla, but you can't tell me after 5 or 6 centuries of everybody trying to kill you, you're going to sit at a table with a bunch of dudes and go, "Oh yeah, we're totally friends now," and not have a plan B in case shit goes to hell.
Yeah, right? Plan B, Plan C, Plan E, etc. Yeah, I've never gotten the impression that Tremere was.
Because what if the Sabbat they join the Camarilla, and what if the Sabbat win the war, and then now they're screwed over? So let's have some of our clan in the Sabbat so that
Yeah, so we can keep an eye on shit. Yeah, we gotta keep an eye on shit, man, because you know what these sketchy motherfuckers are liable to do? Look at FCMC, man. You can't trust those motherfuckers.
And yes, New Wave, for your question about Tremere's body turning into a giant snake or worm, that actually
happened.
Zalot using vicissitude because
it was this horrible grub worm kind of fucking horrible crap. Yeah.
So whether that was a manifestation of discomfort or Zalot was just trolling Tremere.
Trying to get his own aspect as his face and
the
body
really
type.
shitty thing is that obviously because he had vicissitude in that body, in the Gehenna plot lines, Zalot ends up losing because Shmise is like, hey, you're my bitch now.
Yep.
That's my body. So
I'm more and more starting, after rereading the book, I am more and more starting to go, yeah, this didn't happen. This is too much stupid shit. I'm going to keep it as that book, as a memento, but I will never use anything out of it. Matter of fact, the 6th grade Maelstrom won't have happened either when we get into the... By the way, guys, if you're still interested, come on, send us go over to Roll20, make a profile, and let us know at the Facebook page for the show that you're interested in playing. We got a show-sponsored game coming up because I think I've got a really good storyline I think you guys might enjoy. It's going to be interesting. It truly is. You're going to start on Manhattan Island, and then shit's going to go sideways from there. Okay, so just so you know, that's what I wanted to let you know. So, please, just send us a message at our Facebook page or send us a message here on YouTube, and we'll be more than happy. Now, this is only for the folks that are, listening live and may listen to within a week or so of this. But I want to make sure that you guys know that we're actually doing this. And I guarantee you, before this is out, there'll be more than one show. Jacob, you've got a Roll20 account, don't you?
no, I've never used Roll20.
You need to go goddamn figure it out. Shit ain't that damn hard. Go to Roll20, make a fucking...
I'll do it 5 minutes before game. It'll be fine.
No, we will not. You know how anal I am about having people get their shit straight early?
And yeah, New Wave Zalot is a sick bastard. He is not the sweet little angel that he made sure everybody thought he was. But that will get us on a terrible tangent, so I will talk about him another day.
Alright, F.B. Fulton is asking, so how do Tremere interact with other entities in the world of darkness? How are they with werewolves or their former brother mages? Well, we don't have a problem with the Order of Hermes. Actually, they still pluck from that particular group for embraces because of their innate knowledge of magic in general. The werewolves, man, I don't know, you've been here long enough, F.B. Fulton. You know about in general how Toreadors feel about werewolves, because it's pretty much the same thing about the way it's like avoid them at all costs. Even with thaumaturgy, it's not something you want to step into. In the rest of the clan, they of course know about lupines and their brethren, but they don't interact with them at all. Somebody brought it up on the old OWD group the other day about something I've been talking about for a while now, the ghouling of mages. Okay, and apparently, it works fine at first, but as soon as you kill their avatar, they become relatively useless other than as regular-ass ghouls.
Blood Treachery actually is a good resource if you find a copy or get the PDF on DriveThruRPG, because it is specifically dealing with House Tremere and Order of Hermes and Vampire and Mage crossover chronicles, and shows the interactions between the clan with mortal mages, as well as has fun things like how to deal with ghoul mages and what kind of spells that mages can have that affect vampires specifically, other than the retarded turn a vampire into a chair spell. So.
And yeah, New Wave, you're absolutely right about that. We're worm tainted, man. Most of them won't even deal with us. Much less, and like I said, standing toe to toe is just even as an Archon is kind of dumb. It will put you on a bad road in a big hurry. That's the best I can say. The Tremere in general do have some really good aspects. They do. Even with most of the negative shit that we've spoken about for this last hour and 26 minutes, is that we understand that most of the clans don't like us. And it's probably about the reasoning behind the last 1,000 years, give or take, of the kind of crap we pulled. But I'm going to be honest, for the first 500 years of our existence, we were fighting to survive. And that seems to be carrying on more so in the latter days than it was in the prior days, but it's not nearly as necessary as it was. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty fair. Even like in the LARPs that I've played, because I mean, most of the tabletop I've done has been with a small group of individuals that we were just the same people playing the same games all the time. I have found playing online, there's a lot of Tremere love, and even Tremere anti-tribu love, because most of the Sabbat games that I've been into, they set it prior to, like, they changed the timeline. The anti-tribu haven't been destroyed yet, and there'd be the odd person who would play Tremere anti-tribu, and there's usually a decent amount in my LARP group on people playing Tremere, and nobody officially likes them, but everyone tolerates them, and they're usually manage to maneuver themselves into positions of power within the court, which I think is probably a pretty decent assessment of how it actually goes in a normal setting.
Most definitely.
Nobody likes them, nobody trusts them, and it's because nobody likes them and nobody trusts them, they end up getting power because people are scared of them.
Exactly.
And they're able to not so much bully, but people will cut them a little more slack or put a little more tolerance, or have to go to them for help, because between thaumaturgy aspects and dominate, there's a lot of things Tremere can do that not everybody else can do as well.
Most definitely. All right, we got another question from New Wave. So, I know that the Tremere are very protective of their clan discipline, but has there been any times where a vampire of another clan learned thaumaturgy? Shit, it happens a lot. Oh, God. It happens a hell of a lot more often than I would be comfortable with.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably happens more often than the Tremere admit to.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. It's like, no, I'm not going to ever admit to teaching out-of-clan disciplines to anybody. Can you imagine? Okay, we were taught early on is, Lord forbid the pyramid falls on you. Okay, and that makes perfect sense to me. It's like, you do something stupid, and every member of our clan will come down on you, and not just you, but anybody you were dumb enough to teach it to. Okay, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. And as long as it happens in such a way that, I guess, how should I put this? Don't get caught. Basically speaking, don't get caught. Because there's no, once you teach somebody thaumaturgy, there's no real serious, as far as I know, way to actually go, well, he's the one who taught them thaumaturgy. You know anything about that, Jacob?
Sorry, what was the question?
Was it possible, okay, I were to teach some random fucking gangrel thaumaturgy, there is no way for them to find out that I'm the motherfucker who taught them thaumaturgy.
Well, they could ask him.
That's not the point. I'm talking about... Come on, dude.
What?
Help a brother out here, man. I'm seriously, dude. Is it possible from dealing with that particular gangrel to tell whether or not I'm the one who taught them thaumaturgy?
I wouldn't see how.
Thank you.
Like, you can't really tell how... You can't tell by watching somebody use any discipline how it was, where they learned it from, right?
Right. The chances of me teaching a Malkavian thaumaturgy are like nada. There isn't even a number small enough.
Why would it be any different than any other?
No, it's Malkavians, man. Can you imagine a Malkavian with thaumaturgy?
Well,
that'd be fucking crazy, dude.
It depends what you teach them. Like, I mean, my question to you, Peter, or to anybody watching,
please,
is with the one thing that thaumaturgy is supposed to be like the game changer is its versatility. Which, you know, is why there's like always a new book coming out with new thaumaturgy paths and shit.
I know, man, it's killing me. I can't keep up.
So my question is how have you guys seen or dealt with often with PCs who actually spend time studying new thaumaturgy, like try to invent new thaumaturgy or new rituals or whatnot?
Only Chitif can create new ones, can't they?
No, well, no. You're thinking of a new discipline, not a new thaumaturgy path.
It's the same damn thing.
No, it's not. Thaumaturgy. That's the difference with thaumaturgy. Is it's magic, and that's why there's so many thaumaturgy paths. Is because they create, like, in 800 AD, Etrius did not figure out technomancy. Somebody within the last century invented technomancy.
Yeah, but that's a mage thing, and it doesn't mean we can't shift shit from the mage side of the equation to the kindred side of the equation. You know what I mean?
But that's my question is if you had seen or heard of people in game developing new thaumaturgies.
I'm sorry.
So I'm going to assume no.
Okay, hold up, yo, New Wave. What if the Malk said they'd teach you dementation in exchange for thaumaturgy? Oh yeah, I'd go for that in a minute, dude. Oh fuck yeah. I'd rather trust a fucking new okay. Yeah, that would be awesome, though. It would probably go bad for anybody who interacted with that particular Malkavian afterward. But yeah, I'll take temptation all day long. What do you think, Jacob?
Well, I like dementation, and really, if you're teaching them thaumaturgy, you teach them level 1 thaumaturgy. What path you're going to teach them that they're really going to do a lot more shit than what they can't already do with dementation.
Lure of Flames. Right? Lure of Flames.
Well, why would you teach them Lure of Flames as their
first? Why not, man?
And even level one Lure of Flames isn't all that great. Isn't all that out of control either.
No, but when you get what, four dots in, this shit goes sideways. Do they need? Here's my question: do you need continual tutelage from a particular individual? Once, if I were to say switch thaumaturgy for dementation, and I went, I had the money to buy, or had the XP to buy anything above level 2 for dementation, is it a problem or isn't it?
You would still need to be taught the next one because it's not one of your innate.
It's not one of the primary clan deals. I get that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, just like thaumaturgy, like you can even in character creation, you can take a merit that gives you the ability to start the game with a dot or two of thaumaturgy, but you aren't going to be able to raise it unless you can find somebody to teach you the rest.
Gotcha. Okay, that was what I was saying. Is that once you learn the first dot of something, do you need somebody else who can raise you higher than that?
You need someone to teach you the rest of the way.
Gotcha. Because a lot of folks that Diablerize, etc., and I got a dot of thaumaturgy now, and I can use it. I'm like, who taught you that? Well, I Diablerized this guy. I'm like, no, that gives you the ability. It doesn't give you the fucking actual knowledge how to do it.
Well, and again, that depends on the storyteller, because by the rules, you're not guaranteed to learn or gain anything from Diablerizing someone. Straight rules as written in most editions, the only thing you get from Diablerizing somebody is possibly changing your generation. So, I guess it just depends on how fun and generous your storyteller is.
Got it. And if you're absolutely right, it would stake you out in a minute for that kind of bullshit. You don't teach. In general, you don't teach thaumaturgy outside a clan. But you get caught doing it, your ass is had not only because you did, but because the individual you taught it to is also going to be had. Because they're going to stake your ass out. That's where this works.
Think about how many of those big name NPCs have a dot or two of thaumaturgy. You look at their stats and stuff, like the characters from books and everything.
Sasha Vikos.
People, well, yeah, but he would have had it anyway. He would have had it from Khuldoon, but
she learned it from Tremere.
Oh yeah, that's right, because Vikos was a member of Tremere before it was embraced.
Yes.
That's right. I forgot about that.
She had actually learned. And that was the thing, was she kept getting letters from him until he went into torpor anyway, about the shit she could actually do. She's one of the ones in Jihad, the card game, that actually had superior thaumaturgy, Samisha. Most of them had chemistry, and so did she. But she didn't. She was the only one in the group that actually had thaumaturgy as well. So yeah, thaumaturgy has moved its way across more boundaries as far as clans are concerned than pretty much any other discipline. Including the more useful ones like potence or fortitude. Both of those very handy, by the way. I chuck a sewer lid at you. That's why I've always assumed that thaumaturgy was great and all, but it was not all that awesome as a primary combat discipline. All right, Jacob. Did you fall asleep?
No, I was listening to you talking.
Alright. What else? We got 20 minutes to fill.
What else can we talk about with Clan Tremere? Well, that was one of the questions that I wanted to throw out there. Was about developing new thaumaturgies. Because I know in other role-playing games there are more specific rules on developing. I mean, I know that they actually, one of the supplements had a little bit of a guideline for designing new thaumaturgies, but I hadn't actually heard of anybody specifically take that on as a character concept. I actually think that if I was going to play a Tremere, that might be the route I would want to take. I would want to be like a somebody who is trying to innovate on thaumaturgy, and so like take 1 or 2 dots, and I mean you probably have to have at least 5 dots in one path, but to take like 1 or 2 dots in a couple of different paths, just you're a little bit more familiar with the various different paths, and then work with STs on making something work or importing something from one of the other books or something. I just think I like the idea of doing experiments. The wacky scientist trope or something, I guess, but I could see that as being an interesting Tremere, though. A little off the wall, but still, important for the clan, because there's a lot of prestige with people that
absolutely, yes, you're absolutely
new
right.
Rituals or new magics
for the clan, man. New Wave's got one here for us. What's your best advice for somebody playing a Tremere for the first time? Look, Tremere looks presentable as far as clans go when you first look at them, but please look at the secondary stuff. Find out just exactly how structured and ordered this particular clan is before you choose to accept them, especially if you're going to be playing this character for a while. If you're just here for the magic, what's the bourgeois? Oh, somebody told D&D nerds that their spells were real. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was the quote in one of the rule books for the bourgeois.
Okay, don't assume that magic is the one answer for all of your issues as far as what you're planning to play, as far as your character. I don't know if you were here for the first part of the show, but my old character is not even, it's way out of the box as far as kindred go for this particular clan. But it's still within the reach of plausibility.
I gotta say, the best Tremere PC I have actually seen play was in the first Modern Knights LARP that I joined a year ago. I was playing a gangrel. This Tremere was dominate focused and auspex focused, and had very little thaumaturgy itself. He was the face of the clan, and he did phenomenal. He was like the big bad guy everybody was scared of.
Yeah, but couldn't actually do anything.
But they didn't know that. He actually, by the time that, so the court finally figured out he was BSing and and stood up to him, and so the character fled the city. But up until that time, he actually had half the court convinced that that they had done that contract ritual, that if they said or did anything against him, they would be dropped into torpor from the amount of damage they took.
Yeah.
And so he maneuvered situations where they needed his help, so he would get them to sign this contract, and then now he basically had free run of the city because they were able, because they thought that they couldn't do anything against him. And when somebody finally tested to see if it actually would work, they realized that he actually couldn't do that ritual, and therefore none of the contracts were real. And then, his house of cards fell apart.
Like I said, a shotgun gets your point across a bit faster than that bullshit.
I love that. I loved that concept, though. The fact that, he played on the reputation of the Tremere without actually having to follow through on it. I thought that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, but come on. When it does get found out, that definitely does not do anything good for the reputation of the house.
Wow.
No, you should think about that. As serious as we are about the foundation and the structure of the pyramid, you can't go out, you should never go out and represent yourself in something you cannot accomplish. And that sounds like that's exactly what he did. Went out, yeah, I'm a Tremere, holy shit, I can throw fireballs at you, be careful, but not actually being able to do so. And when you get called out on it, it makes you look, and not just you, but the rest of the clan, looked at, oh, well, they just talk a bunch of shit, they can't do a damn thing. So, you have to understand that the pyramid is watching. I know that sounds strange, but it's true. You have to assume that any time that you could be doing or saying something under the auspices of said pyramid, and if you can't back them up, then why bother saying them in the first place? That's the thing with Kindred Society. As much as you talk shit, you may not have to do it now, but damn sure you are going to have to follow through with your threat at some point if you expect to maintain some, how should I put this, respect from the other clans after you've said you can do something. You know what I mean?
Yes, I'm following the trolley.
It's just not a good idea to just run around spouting off bullshit that you can't do. Matter of fact, I scared the shit out of them. No, that was the thing. At the Gotham gathering,
the whole game of Vampire, though, is trying to get people to do shit so that you don't have to follow through on threats.
Yeah, but that's somebody who's not actually old enough, who is attempting to play the jihad. And the way that gives me issue is that I'm old enough, at least since my character is old enough to know, that if a neonate is acting out...
Oh, it wasn't a neonate.
How old?
But it was an elder. But anyway, you're starting to trail off as you're talking, bud. We're at about wrap up time, are we?
And we got 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Have I really trailed off that bad?
Well, you're just, the way you're talking is trailing off.
Yeah, it's entirely too much vodka. So I'm going to assume that most of these folks, but you're right about that. It's just there's only so much the pyramid can do. I'm actually planning on dropping early tonight. It has nothing to do with vodka. But I have had a long and very tiring day. So, folks, we're going to go ahead and cut it tonight. Jacob?
Yes, sir?
Would you please sign off and we'll go ahead and go about our business?
For a certainty. Thank you, everyone, for chatting, especially you, New Wave. Always a pleasure to chat with you. And FB Fulton, it was good to hear from you again.
Most definitely.
With us having no guests this evening, it was nice and Scott Banks was at the beginning, but wasn't in the chat very often.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But thank you, Scott, for showing up as well. It was good to have a lively chat because it gave us lots of conversation starters. And we have covered off House Tremere. We will keep the next episode a surprise again.
Yep.
And announce it. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Have a good night. And check the closet for Tremere so that, because they are the boogeyman. We are. All right, guys. Good night. Thank you, Jacob. Later. You've been awesome. We out. Thanks. Peace.